Hey there, Heather Boyd Wire here. I do wire art and jewelry making videos every week on my channel. So this week we're making this super cute little seahorse using the Artistic Wire Deluxe Jig Kit. So what you're going to need for this project is your Artistic Wire Deluxe Jig Kit, and you're going to need your pegs and the plugs that go on the back of the pegs. You'll need basic tools. I use a pen to help me with some of the round forms. We're going to use a variety of beads and also about 2 feet of 20 gauge wire. So I've gone ahead and planned out where the pegs are going to go. You could take a quick screenshot of that if you like. And then what we're going to do is just follow the pattern on the jig. So let's just bring it over. And then we're just going to start like anywhere you want, not too close to the edge. You don't want to run out of room. And then the thing you have to remember, here I'll start with these two here. You really have to remember to use these plugs on the back, and these are going to hold the pegs in place. And so what I'm going to do is just keep following. So what I want to do is count over like 1, 2, and then up at a diagonal. So 1, 2, and up at a diagonal. I find that's the easy way to keep track of where, you know, what direction to go and all that kind of thing. So use something as a starting point and then count your way over. So here, same thing. Actually, it looks like this one's more on a diagonal. So we go up 1, 2 on the diagonal. So that's good. So this one, we go down and across one, down and across one. That's the bigger peg. This one I found to be a little big, but you can wiggle it around at the end. So it's if you find it's too big, you can sort of manipulate it at the end. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And this takes a little time in the setup, but it's really worth investing the time in doing this so that you have a nice base to work with. And this one we're going to go up on the diagonal, 1, 2. And it took me quite a bit of time to figure out this design. I'd actually made the seahorse before, smaller, out of thinner wire for earrings and stuff, and they were super cute too, but it's really hard to do small earrings on the jig because the pegs are quite far apart. So that's why sometimes I make my own jigs, and I make those out of wood and nails. And if you're interested in learning how to do that, I do offer an online course to teach you how to make the jigs, and that module is actually part of my full wire art course that's available online as well. So here we go. So we have the basic, that's for sort of the little back mane type of thing. And then we're going to go ahead, and there's like where the chin is over here. We want to go ahead and do some here. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 1, 2, and stick that one in there. And then you're going to see when I get to winding it with the wire, some of the places it's hard to put too many pegs because they get too close together. Then I have a little hack on how to get around that problem just using a nail, and I'm going to show you very shortly how to do that. And then we have one more that's here, so we're going to count down for that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. And we're almost done setting it up with the jig. And then we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, over 2. So 1, 2, 3, and over 2. So that one's going to go right there. And that's pretty well the setup for the jig. And you can go ahead and take a screenshot of that one as well. Let me just lift it up so you can see it on an angle, and that way too. So there you go. So now I have my wire, and I'm going to keep the nail in my hand to use along the way. And you're going to start around in the middle of your wire, and I like to start on the eye. So I'm just going to wind it around the eye, just very carefully, but you want to hold it firmly so it does a nice smooth bend. Okay, and then right away we're going to need the nail, because where this is, where the eye is, you want it to dip down a bit for the nose. So I'm actually going to stick it in this hole just sort of diagonal below that eye, and then just give it a little bit of a bend, and you'll see it makes a nice little right angle bend. And then we're going to do the same thing up here. We're going to bend it a bit and then stick it in the whole diagonal above there, and then just give it a little bend like that. So you see it does like a little jog on either side. And then here we're just going to bend it around. This is going to be for the ear, so we're just going to leave that one. And then here we're going to go around sort of the nose here. So we're going to go down here, and then bend it up. Okay, now grab your nail again, and we're going to put the nail just diagonal below this one where the chin is. So we're going to just put it in there, poke it in there, and then just give that a nice sharp turn here. See, we get a nice sharp turn, and then we want to keep it in that hole and then bend it like around that kind of chin one there, and then down sort of where the neck would be, like that. So it's made like a little up bloop bloop like that. So we're gonna go like that. And then what you want to do is, this is where I just use the trick of rubbing it with my thumb. So I'm just gonna rub it with my thumb a little bit to make a curve. You could use like a pill bottle or something to get that round shape if you want, but I'm just doing it sort of like with my finger. And then you're gonna position it. This is sort of the little belly here. We're gonna position it there, and then hold it down with your fingers and give it a little jog down like that. And then wrap it around this tail thing twice. And we're gonna deal with that later to make a spiral, but we just wrapped it around twice. And then here, we're going to pull this down tightly, and then go to the second little peg down and give it a nice sharp turn again. And then here, we're going to bend it around one of those pegs. And then here, I could have put more pegs in there, but they're really cumbersome. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the nail to go in there. So the nail, we're going to put in diagonal below the middle one. So just a little diagonal below, and then we're just going to bend it. Okay, keep it in there until you've gone around the middle one. Okay, keep that nail in there so it doesn't like get out of place. And then once you've got around that one, you can lift the nail out, and then up here we're going to stick it in just the little hole below, just directly below that peg. So we're going to stick it in there, bend it again, okay, and then bend it around this peg, okay, and once you're around there, then you could take it out, okay. And we're going to bring this, bend it on a nice little sharp angle there, and then curve it down a little bit, and there you have your basic kind of outline for the seahorse. So if you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of that, you can. And then we're going to remove it from the jig altogether. So our work here is done on the jig. We're going to remove it. We're going to take this away, and then this is actually going to be the back. We're going to flip it over, but what we want to do is form the spiral. So let's go ahead to form the spiral. I do have other videos on how to make the spiral, and usually I make it on a cone, but because these pegs aren't cone shape, I just did a double loop, and then you kind of loosen it up a little bit. Okay, you loosen it up, and then you can take a pen or a smaller round form just to hold it in there, and then give it another loop around, because you want the circles to get gradually smaller, and then you're going to pull it in again. So that's a cool little spiral. And then we're going to flip it over, and then over here we're going to just kind of up here too, you can adjust this a little bit up here. So if we want to adjust it, like, because his head's a little bit too much of a sharp bend, that's where the peg was a little bit too big there, but that's okay. So we're going to go like that, and then what you want to do is just figure out, let's compare it to this one. We're just going to figure out where we want this loop thing to bend. So I'm going to do it a little higher up than I did on that one. So about maybe a ½ inch below this bend here. We're just going to give it a little kind of a bend at a right angle, and this part, you know, is pretty flexible how you want to do that. And then I'll just get some round pliers to like flip it over, and you want to bend this wire up. So let's just go ahead and hold that wire and bend it up and that's behind the seahorse. We're going to bend it up like that, and then give it a little bit of a curve too if you can, just a little bit. And from there you can kind of decide like how your proportions are looking. You could wiggle this around if you want. And then what we want to do is actually just kind of hold it where you want it to be. Looks like we might have to make that a little rounder, bring that one out a little more. So depending on how fat you want your seahorse to be. So this looks like a pretty good position there. And then we're going to take some small round pliers and take this other wire, the one that's not bent on the right angle, and just help it out. Just give it a little kind of round turn, because what it's going to do is wrap around this wire, and we're just going to like pull it tight. So this is like snugly around that wire that's turned up at a right angle, and then we want to clip it off. Okay, just clip it nice and flush there. We're going to just pinch it down, and then this wire we're going to bend up to make a curve. So hold this in place. If you need to use the pliers like to hold it in place, you can, to push that down. And then this one, either with a pill bottle or just with your thumb, you could curve it around like that. And then we want to put our beads on there. So we're gonna just go ahead and fill that up with some beads. I have a variety of beads. I have anything from, these ones are sort of 4mm, I guess you would say. This is like a 4mm faceted bead. And then I have my favorite 4mm miracle beads. And then let's alternate them with some 6mm beads. And I was thinking we could even go for a big guy as well. So let me just see if we could just put this 8mm one on there. This is a cat's eye bead. And then we're just going to round it out a little bit more. And then for the mane, you have two options, okay? You can either, like this one, okay, you can just take your seed beads and wind them around, and that makes a cute little mane. But if you want to do just a simple mane, you just take your pliers, and then you're just going to kind of go back. Let's see if we're going to do it like that with the small round pliers, back and forth. So we're going to do back and forth. We're just going to see how much we can do. It looks like we're going to be able to do kind of 4 points, which is good. So that's really cute too, just like that. So you have a choice of whether to do beads or just the mane out of wire. And then you can just give it a little clip. Okay, we're just going to clip it off. And then just flatten that, like end in a little bit, hide it behind. And there you have your super cute little seahorse. And like I said, if you want the mane to be beaded, you could do it like that. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more DIY wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share pictures of your wire art creations, be sure to join the Facebook group, the Wire Art and Jewelry Makers Club, where we share photos and inspiration amongst the members. And if you don't have Facebook, no problem. You could send me photos to info@heatherboydwire.com, and I can post them in the community section of the YouTube channel. And if you'd like to check out our wire art and jewelry on Etsy, I'll link up my Etsy shop below. We specialize in custom wire jewelry and wedding cake toppers. Also, if you want to learn some more specialized wire art techniques, I have a course available, an online course. I'll link it up below. And I have some cool projects, including how to flatten wire for bookmarks, how to make spiral beads for necklaces, and how to make funky trees. I have a different way of making trees with weaving the wires together. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.